Rad, Mr. Hazard, as most of us like to call you. Did you have fun at the Midwest Extravaganza? Did you have fun being a loser? I imagine you did, because you were so good at being the loser. It was quite amazing, actually. I was quite surprised at how well you lost. It was impressive. But don't worry, Rad. It'll be your last loss, I'm sure, as you become the official Chris Benoit of backyard wrestling. Your relationships fail. Your title runs fail. Even you fail. And it is out of your failure that the radical movement rised. It's out of your failure that you actually got the balls to rise above the crowd and become something. But maybe you should have just stayed hidden in your hole and saved yourself the embarrassment of what happened to you this weekend. Let's be honest, because if you weren't as well known, it would have been so embarrassing for you to lose. Let's be honest, if you hadn't been so high and mighty on yourself, it would have been so embarrassing to lose your movement to two people who aren't even worthy of being leaders. I don't care what you say. Johnny Light and Bone Crusher are not leaders. I am a leader. I led one of the most popular feds in backyard wrestling. I led it. Who are Johnny Light and Bone Crusher? One's a bodyguard, and the other one's a guy who sits back and just waits. An ultimate opportunist of sorts. He's less than impressive. Far less than impressive. So let me tell you something, Rad. I'm not impressed by your decision making. I'm sure not very many other people are either. So here's what I'm going to do for you, Rad. I'm going to do you a favor. As you fade back into the background, I'm going to give you a chance to come out and say something. Yes, a chance. A chance to come out and be honest with us for 10 seconds. What was Radical Movement about, Brad? Was it about your failure? Was it because your ex was a backyard wrestler, and if she was happy doing this, you had to destroy it? Is that what this was about? Honestly, gonna say I think that's what it was about. But I'm gonna tell you what it was about for me, real fast. It was about changing history, and a history where backyard wrestling was looked at as a primal and vicious way to end arguments, where people took glass tubes and shattered them over each other's heads, and took chairs and carelessly threw them around, where we were looked down at by the media into something that we could be proud of. Well, as we've seen lately, it's been possible. Many more feds are going into technical wrestling. And while not everybody's so enthused about the amount of arm drags there are in everyday matches now, at least it's not as barbaric as what it started out as. And to be honest, we deserve better recognition for what we've done. So, that's what it was about for me. But obviously, for you, it was destroying something that you lost love for. Well, I put into action your plan here in Indiana. Even when I stood at ICW, I got told how dumb the radical movement was. Even when I sat at home, like right now, and was telling everybody how great the radical movement was, I was getting ridiculed for it. But I stood by you, Rad. I stood by hoping that maybe when you finally did come to Indiana, you'd smack some sense into these low-ball losers. But that didn't happen, did it, Rad? No, you got beat, and you lost the radical movement. Well, if I'm still going to be in this radical movement, because it is the radical movement, if I'm still going to be in it, then I am the leader. And if I'm still going to be in it, I am its Commander-in-Chief. Not you, Rad. Not Bone Crusher or Johnny Light. Me. And if Johnny Light and Bone Crusher have a problem with it, if somebody else in the radical movement has a problem with it, then you can come to CCW. So I have no problem sending you back and making you realize that I am the leader for a reason. You will take orders, and you will take them and fulfill them without any questions. You hear that, radical movement? I declare myself as Commander and Chief of the radical movement, and I'm going to take an active step in making this movement a very successful one. And I will not lose it to some bodyguard and half-beat chump. So recognize your new Commander-in-Chief. Recognize Mike Creston as your leader, and learn to take orders immediately. Starting with Bone Crusher and Johnny Light getting back, taking back Rad Hazard's title from the pin name. Take your orders and fulfill them, boys. Your Commander-in-Chief has spoken.